Hi Taurus, welcome to your love reading for July 2017. I'm working with 2 decks this month, but I'm also going to pull a card for you from the Psychic Tarot for the heart. I am reading this more as an oracle card than tarot. I'm also doing weekly readings. I've actually done about 4 since I last did the reading for the previous month. These are weekly readings. I do these by element, so earth, air, fire, and water. You will not see them on YouTube. You have to subscribe to my newsletter. It's completely free. Just send an email to news@channeledguidance.com, or you can just go to my website, channeledguidance.com, and get the link there. Okay, so you had quite a few jumping cards. Like, you had so many jumping cards. This can actually be a reading for some of you. So let me show you what jumped for you. We'll start with this deck here. So the first card that jumped is this one, the 7 of Pentacles. So I feel like here you're doing a lot of thinking this month. It could be that some of you are reconsidering a relationship. Let me just show you what else came up with this. These all jump together. You have the 8 of Cups. Now the 8 of Cups is the goodbye card. This is a card of walking away. Seeing this with the 7 of Pentacles tells me that perhaps some of you are thinking about maybe leaving a relationship, kind of exploring your options, maybe seeing somebody else, or this is your partner is considering maybe moving on. For some of you, you may be dealing with this energy. The other message that came up with these 2 cards is this one, the 4 of Cups. I feel like for some of you, maybe not for everyone, it could be that you're feeling unhappy. This is a card of unhappiness, being discontent, with the message here of somebody wanting to walk away and say goodbye. And here you're exploring your options. For some of you, this is basically like your reading, although we will do the longer reading. Now from the other deck, you had three jumping cards as well. You also had 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands is a confrontational energy, and it means you have to speak up for yourself. You have to stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid to say what's on your mind. You have to stand up to your partner, to something happening in your relationship. This came up with the Judgment card. So this does represent new beginnings and second chances. This means that for some of you, you may not have to walk away, but it could be that there has to be some type of change. This is the energy of the phoenix rising from the ashes, and the phoenix can be your relationship. But there's a need here to confront something. You also had the Queen of Wands. So for some of you, this could be your partner. This is someone who's a fire sign, male or female, sun, moon, or rising. They're very significant when it comes to some type of new beginning in your relationship. So I'm going to put these back, and we will see if any of these messages come up for you again. We're going to start with this deck and get you 9 cards. This is a love reading for the sign of Taurus for July 2017. First card you have, Taurus, is the High Priestess. Love reading for Taurus, July 2017. You have one turned over here, but this actually came up in the previous reading for Aquarius, so I'm not going to give it to you. Love reading for Taurus, July 2017. You have the 5 of Cups. And you have the Moon. Interesting. Love reading for Taurus, July 2017. You have 2 cards here that I turned over. You have the 10 of Swords here. I also turned over the 5 of Swords. The 6 of Cups. The Queen of Pentacles. The Hangman. And the Wheel. So the card at the bottom of the deck is going to represent the main energy around your love life for July. And you have, you have the 9 of Cups. So this represents your wishes being granted, but also represents a lot of happiness that is available to you in the month of July. And we will see how this ties in with the rest of the reading. I see you have a really intense reading going on here. Especially, with those messages that you had at the beginning of the reading, cards that just jumped out of the deck for you, where you had the the Eight of Cups, and you have the Four of Cups. Let's go ahead and take it one row at a time. Up here, you start off with the High Priestess. So the High Priestess, this is the first card. Let me just start here. The first card usually is the most important message for you in the reading, and it kind of sets the theme for the rest of the reading. Now, you have a major arcana, and it's the High Priestess. So this represents your intuition. This represents spirituality. This means you having to use your gut instincts when it comes to your love life. For some of you, you may have to use your intuition when it comes to meeting new people, weeding out the ones that are not right for you. You may have to use your intuition when having to trust a partner. Are they telling you the truth? Your intuition and signs and synchronicity are going to play a huge part in what happens in your love life in July. Now, you also have here the Five of Cups. So the Four of Cups had jumped for you at the beginning of the reading, but now you get the Five of Cups, and they both represent unhappiness. This card takes it a little bit further, and it does mean that someone's hurting, that someone is, this represents tears and loss. Someone's very unhappy. This also is not being able to move on. For some of you, there could have been a breakup. There could have been, again, you had the Eight of Cups with the Four of Cups at the beginning of the reading that jumped for you. So for some of you, you may have had someone that left your life, or they put you on hold because you did have the Seven of Pentacles. Or maybe somebody's, needing some space. And here you're just heartbroken. You're not able to move on. You're mourning the loss of a relationship. But they're telling you, use your intuition. Things may not be what they seem. You have the Moon. And the Moon is very tricky energy. Sometimes it can literally mean that you're being tricked. But, it can mean self-deceit. It can mean that, it's the Moon, so it can be very emotional energy, especially right next to the Five of Pentacles. The Moon represents something, is not seen yet. What is hidden is revealed. So there could be a revelation that is coming to you. But this does represent, something going on that you're not aware of. So for some of you, there could have been someone that broke up with you. Where right now, this is a message from Spirit to hang in there, but there could also be something that you don't know about why they left. Yes, it can also, I have to say, because you have the Five of Swords here, for some of you, it can also represent deceit. Again, in order for you to know whether that's actually speaking to you, you're going to have to use your intuition, which is why you have the High Priestess. Do you really feel that you've been lied to? That is something that you need to really tune in. But this can represent deceit with this energy being here from the Five of Swords. Now the next card is the Ten of Swords. So very similar to this energy. There's a strong message here that some of you cannot move on. You're having trouble letting go of a relationship. So again, those cards that jumped for you at the beginning of the reading, they were spot on. For some of you, there's a lot of unhappiness and unable to move on. Now, for some of you, it may not be that your partner left you and moved on, but it could be that you're having trouble in a relationship, moving on, moving away from your troubles. The Ten of Swords is literally being down. You feel hurt, you feel betrayed, stabbed in the back, and you're not able to pick yourself up and move on. There's something going on here. Moving on to the next row. You have the Five of Swords. This is my least favorite card in the Tarot because it can represent people that are two-faced, people that, they put on one face but they're a completely different person, people who do not have your best interest at heart, hidden enemies. It also represent negative energy and negative people. For some of you, because you have the Six of Cups here, this can represent, someone from your past where it's not doing you any good to hold on to this person. Especially, with this energy that I see up here. I won't apply to everyone, but seeing the Five of Cups, that's you not being able to move on, dwelling on the loss of a relationship. Ten of Swords, can't move on, you're still down there, focusing on you were lied to, you were betrayed, someone, perhaps sabotaging your life, the past, a reference to the past. There could also be, I'm going to go right back to this card. This may not be, someone that sabotaged your life. But there can be, what I also see is that there can be someone from the past. This can be an entirely different message. Hard to say in a general reading. The past resurfacing where you have to make a decision. So it can be an ex that's coming back into your life, where maybe they were the ones that, you know, broke your heart, where you've not been able to move on. The Five of Swords is saying to make a wise decision. This can be the energy of you saying, yes, I take you back, I still love you. And then things happen later on where you kick yourself for taking them back and falling for that again. This can mean that someone can, if they lied once, they can do it again with the moon here. There's kind of like, a word of caution with the Five of Swords. It's a red flag energy. Be careful when making decisions. This can be a decision that comes back to haunt you. And, it is tied to something from the past. Now, if it's not someone coming back from the past because you're married, this can still be bringing up issues from the past. There's a message here to, move on. You're not moving on from your spouse, but moving on from, arguments and conflicts and recycling, arguments that you've had in the past that you think you finally healed and moved on. You need to let that go. I feel like the past or emotional baggage resurfaces, and the worst thing that you can do in a relationship, in a marriage, is to give in to some type of drama from the past. Don't relive that. Let that go. You need to let that go. Now down here, you have the Queen of Pentacles. So this is your energy as an earth sign, male or female. You have the Hangman telling me that, that you might be feeling stuck. This is a major arcana, and it does represent you being in limbo, not really moving forward. For some of you, there could be a decision that you have to make to move forward, to become unstuck. I'm drawn to the Five of Swords, so I feel like if you are stuck and you're not moving forward in your love life, it could be because of something that you're not doing, either because you're not. If you're single, it could be because you're not looking, or because you're not letting go of that person that is not good for you, is not going to commit. If you're already in a relationship, if you're not, moving forward, it could be that there's too much fighting and, too many issues from the past that are coming up, or there can be a lot of negativity. There's an energy here of a relationship being in limbo, and it's right next to you. You also have another major arcana, the Wheel. So this tells me to know that you will get out of this funk. The Wheel does represent movement and change for the better. Remember that the main energy for you for this month was a Nine of Cups. Your wish is being granted. So for some of you, your wish may be to finally get out of this energy where you're in limbo and you don't really understand what's going on with your partner, why they're acting the way they're acting. You're wanting to move on. I feel like for some of you, there's sadness, and I don't know, it's hard to say in a general reading since thousands of people watch this, but there's the energy of needing to move on, because the more that you hold on to something, whether it's someone that left or something that happened in your relationship, it's the more that you hold on to it, the more that you hurt. Change wants to happen for you. It's time to move forward. Okay, so let me get some more cards for you. What other messages are there for the sign of Taurus for July 2017? You have the Page of Swords. Other messages for Taurus, July 2017. The Four of Wands. Love reading for Taurus, July 2017. And you have Judgment. So I'm not sure, it's been a long day. I think Judgment was one of the cards that jumped for you. I'm not sure, because I know you had quite a few jumping cards. I think it may have been from the other deck, though. Okay, so let's take a look at what came up for you. The Page of Swords. This represents communication, and this does represent the need to communicate honestly. I mean, look at what it's next to. The Moon. This represents deceit. There's a need for the truth to be revealed, or there's a need for you to speak your truth in a relationship. Again, honest communication. I feel like, being honest about your feelings, coming clean, this helps you. This is the energy that came out for you, and it's all very positive. The Four of Wands. This represents, marriage. This represents stability, having a firm foundation, not a relationship with, where there's constant coming and going and you're never really sure if you're together. This is stability. This is a firm foundation. This can even be a marriage. This can be moving in together. This could be, you know, that when you have clarity in a relationship and there's honesty, you're finally moving towards marriage, or you finally have the stability that you have been hoping for. You also have the Judgment card. Another major arcana that's telling you all is not lost. Even though we see some painful energies here, this is the message of the phoenix rising from the ashes, of something that you thought was dead and gone. We see the coffins here, people are coming out of the coffins. What you thought was dead returns. For some of you, it can be someone that was gone resurfacing back into your life, coming back up. And I did get that from the Five of Swords, where you have to decide, are you going to let this person back into your life? Now with the Five of Swords, you have to be careful, especially if there was some type of deceit. But this does represent a new beginning. What you thought was gone and lost returns. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the other deck. What other messages are there for Taurus for July 2017? You have Temperance, the Knight of Cups, and the Moon again. So repeating message. At the bottom of this deck you have the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups does represent a lot of happiness. This represents you celebrating. This can also represent marriage. So you do have some really positive cards of happiness with the Three of Cups and the Nine of Cups. There can be a lot of positive things happening for you in the month of July. Now you also have Temperance and Major Arcana. Another one, you have quite a few. This is telling you, this is an energy of being really compassionate. This is, you know, a card of keep staying kind of low key. There's a lot of energy going on in this reading. This reading almost feels like all over the place, but there's just a lot of things happening in this reading. This is telling you to keep everything in balance. I feel like don't lose your cool. Even if, you know, you find out something in the month of July that somebody lied, keep your cool with Temperance. This is a message, just, you know, keep everything in balance. Don't rock the boat. You do have a message here, very positive message of movement. You have the Knight of Cups. This is telling me that your love life is headed in a positive direction. Even if it doesn't feel that way, remember that you had Judgment, which is telling you that there will be a new beginning. There will be a second chance. For those where maybe a relationship was lost or you thought it, you know, it was gone, there could be a second chance. The Knight of Cups represents a knight in shining armor. For those who are single, this can be somebody new coming into your life. This can also, you know, represent a marriage proposal. And you do have a marriage card here with the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups. Now you also have the Moon. This is a repeating message because it came up from both decks. So this is the most important message that you need to hear. So there can be some type of deceit going on around you. It could be, you know, the person that you're with. Again, you're going to have to use your intuition. The High Priestess was the first card. But it could even be you. Like, you know, do you still want to be in this relationship, or are you just lying to yourself? The Moon could represent to self-deceit, but also really need to listen to your intuition. This is psychic energy, and it's repeated. This is from two different decks, and here is the same card. Okay, so let's see what comes up for you from the Psychic Tarot for the Heart. What message is there for the sign of Taurus for July 2017? Teach. So I feel like, you know, there's a lot to learn in the month of July, and I feel like for some of you, yes, it could be lessons, you know, things that were not learned in the past, that things could be resurfacing. I feel like there was a strong message that something has to be let go. I mean, there are messages here of moving on. Like, you need to move on. If somebody is hurting, this is causing nothing but pain. For some of you, this could just be a message that this was a learning experience for you. I feel like there could be a situation that's trying to show you what's right for you and what isn't. So definitely pay attention to relationships that just, like, no matter how hard you try, like, it never happens, or the person always lets you down. I feel like there's something happening where someone, you know, in spirit is trying to show you something significant about your love life, or about your partner, about yourself. There's a valuable lesson being taught here. And for some of you, yes, it could play out through deceit, but it could also play out in the fact that maybe you want to move in a different direction, or there are significant changes that need to happen in a relationship. Okay, Taurus, this has been your love reading for July 2017. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will speak to you again next month.